Okay.
Good morning. Good morning. I thought you had heard me. This is Anne.
Good morning, Anne.
From California.
Good morning, another California girl. Good morning, everyone. We have
Michelle, we're recording.
Yes, I know. Do you want to mute, Robin? Do you want to mute?
We'll do a global mute. Yes.
A global mute.
Okay. Good morning, everyone in our wonderful Live Younger community. It is so good to see your faces, those of you who have chosen to show us your beautiful faces this morning. It is, August? What is today? I don't even know. I don't keep track of that stuff. What is today?
The 16th.
16th. Thank you so much. Just like it was gone. Today is Monday, August 16th, and we come together every Monday morning, 8 a.m. Pacific time, to share our love of LifeWave, our love of these patches, our love of this community, our love of David Schmidt. Woohoo for David. We just love him. He is absolutely the best founder that we could ever imagine, a scientist, a genius inventor, and a man of the utmost integrity, that those of us who know him or have even heard of some of the stories about him. So we are so blessed to be in this community and to be sharing these amazing products with the world. So the purpose of our calls on Monday mornings is to share our stories, our testimonials, and that is with any of the patches, and also to ask questions. And if you're new, if you haven't said hello yet, we'd love to greet you during this 20 to 30 minutes together. So if you are new, please let us know. And just a disclaimer that we like to say each call, and that is that the LifeWave products do not treat, prevent, or cure any illness or disease condition. So when we share, please limit your conversation to symptoms only. So share how you felt before, what patches you're using or have used, and how you feel now, what changes have happened. So with that, I'm going to share a real quick one. I was hiking yesterday for the first time in a few weeks, and it was an 8-mile hike. And my left knee was really hurting at the end of the hike. And I have to get one of those little pouches that Robin has so I can always have the patches. I had an X39 on the back of my neck, and I had energy enhancer on the bottom of my feet, which was fabulous. But the minute I got home, I put Eon on the inside of my knee, and I put an Ice Wave, the tan where the pain was the worst, and a white one opposite on the outside. And probably about 15 to 20 minutes, I started to notice some difference. And by the evening, I completely forgot. And it was a soft tissue injury. It was like a tendonitis or something. And I left them on overnight, and I feel fabulous this morning. No knee pain, all better. So yay for Eon and Ice Wave. And I know the X39 was working too. So who's next? Who would like to bless our community? You can either unmute and start sharing, or better is raise your hand using the reaction button at the bottom of the screen. You just click on that and there's a hand raise. So who would like to begin our sharing this morning, or question? Oh, it's quiet out there. Oh my goodness, we have a lot of people on and everyone's quiet.
I want to share something.
Yes, Sarah, please.
I was looking for the hand, but I couldn't find it. So 6 months ago, one of my dearest friends who lives overseas, her husband started to become very forgetful, and very aggressive, and so on. So I suggested they use the X39, and almost like after a month, he already started remembering things and not destroying things around the house, and so on. But now 6 months later, he's doing pottery classes, and I mean, making beautiful pottery, writing a diary, keeping a record of his dreams, and it's just wonderful to see the change in him.
And that's just X39, Sarah?
Yes, and unfortunately not very consistently, because they both keep forgetting to use it.
Well, as his memory improves, that'll probably change, huh?
Yeah.
That's a great share. The cognitive improvements are huge.
Yes.
Hey, Sarah, it's Helen. Emily, when she was in Denver, was mentioning about stacking habits. So I like to tell people, what's a habit you do every day and then do the patch? Could be like brushing your teeth or whatever.
Yeah, I told them that this morning to put the patches next to the toothbrush.
Yeah, that's a habit stack.
Great, Helen, great reminder. Yes, and that's from the book Atomic Habits that Emily mentioned while she was here. Okay, there's an iPhone, there's not a name. You're wearing a blue shirt with glasses, blonde hair. What's your name? Go ahead and share. Yes, unmute.
This is Diane, and my computer's not working, so I had to go to my iPhone.
Hi,
I have a question. I have been on the X39 since March. I went through the detox process and had little bumps everywhere. That's cleared up. That's beautiful. Everything got really better. But for the last week, my left knee, which has had injuries over and over and over again, has swollen and started hurting. And I figure that that is part of sloughing off the old injury and renewing the cells. Does anyone have any suggestions? I have been using the X39 and putting an Eon patch on the knee. Is there a better location that I could put that to help me get through this sooner? Because you want to tell everybody how great the patches are, but you walk up with your cane and it's like, this is not really good.
Did you have an injury, Diane, in that knee in the past?
Yes.
Did you have surgery by chance?
No, I have been able to get along. And 3 days after I had started wearing the patches, I fell off of a chair, twisted that knee again. I had twisted it 2 years ago, but with the patches, I never had any pain at all. And both knee, I was doing phenomenal. And now all of a sudden, for I don't know what reason, it has swollen and it hurts like the dickens. So I figure I heard David say that you would have old injuries come back as the stem cells go through your body. So I was just checking to see, this has been now about 2 weeks. So every morning it's stiff, it's swollen, I work it out. But if there is a recommendation of how that I could get through this process faster and less painfully, I would really appreciate it.
So I have an idea, and then I'm going to open it up if anyone else has an idea. But because we have so many resources in this community, we all have ideas, or maybe we've heard a doctor say something. And what comes to mind, Diane, is Dr. Walt has talked about using the energy enhancer on the bottoms of the feet to increase the energy flow through the body, through the meridians. And that would be the tan on left and the white on right. And you put it on kidney 1, which is, you can look it up online, but it's in the bottom of the foot, like right below the ball of the foot. Does anyone else have an idea? Dr. Tom has his hand up. Does anyone else want to help Diane out?
Hey, Michelle, that's great language, Diane. And yeah, David calls it retracing, and I've experienced that myself. I've had tons of injuries over my years. I was a triathlete early on, and I didn't have any what I would think of as physical issues when I started the patches last year. And some of those old injuries show up and they recover very quickly. They show up just for a second, kind of a poke in the ribs, and then they resolve. You mentioned detox. I just wanted to pipe in with a story, a lady who will tell her story here next week, I hope. She couldn't be on this morning. But first couple of weeks on X39, and she had detox stuff too, which was mostly skin issues for her. And it actually got quite severe. She was surprised. But it was an old condition that she had supposedly recovered from, right? Which resurfaced. And it lasted a couple of days. she already had a foundation of Eon and X39. And Michelle, your suggestion of energy enhancer is perfect, beautiful, because that helps the circulation too, in addition to bringing new energy. I've noticed that Alavita is a really wonderful accelerator for people who are already on the patches, who already have a little bit of metabolic competence with X39 and Eon. And that's what this lady's doing, is adding Alavita, and she's noticed a really wonderful, deep, supple skin, soft skin. So that's, the skin is just the telling tissue, so to speak. It's the same thing is happening in every tissue in the body. So Alavita might be a nice addition for that, in addition to the energy enhancer.
Thank you. I did do the energy enhancers last week, and I have been using Alavita, and that cleared up the detox skin problems that I had. So I'm going through the whole line right now, just trying to get this knee to get back down.
Really great. That's a great journey. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Diane. Thank you, Dr. Tom. Tammy, you are next.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
So back in July, I actually had a cycling accident and dislocated my shoulder. And so I put on a series of a triangle over my shoulder. So I had 3 patches, which are the Y patches, the carnosine, the Eon, and the glutathione. And I did that. And then I put energy across my chest and X39 on my back. So I was loving my patches. And last week, I ended up being able to ride the Copper Triangle, which is a 70-mile bike ride. And I was able to do it without pain in my shoulder. During that ride, I did wear Ice Wave, and that helped a ton because I was on the bike for 7 hours. But that triangle formation that Dr. Jennings recommended works amazing for this tissue injury.
Beautiful. Tammy, can you please remind us what the triangle formation is? How does that look?
So on my shoulder, I did, and I rotated them. So sometimes I put Eon, glutathione, and carnosine, and I just moved them around. And of course, kept the X39 on my back. And I like the energy across my chest. And I still have probably 70% of my mobility back. So I've got a ways to go, but I plan to ride this weekend, another event, and it's even harder, but I'm going to patch up and see how it goes.
Oh, good for you. Thank you. What an accomplishment. 70 miles?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
That's in Colorado, right?
It is in Colorado, to the mountains.
Congratulations. Wonderful. Thank you, Tammy. It looks like, Diane, did you have another question, or is maybe your hand just still up? I don't know. You're muted. I don't know if you.
I'm sorry, but
that's okay.
That was great information too. I'm going to try the triangle on my knee.
Try the triangle. Try the triangle. Okay.
Thank you. Let me get these all.
Okay. Thanks, Diane. Dr. Tom, and then Michelle. Michelle's iPhone.
Oh, I'm all done, Michelle. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Dr. Tom. Okay, Michelle, on an iPhone.
I had fallen and jammed my fingers, and I used carnosine on the back of my hand because I would use something else at night. I would use Eon at night, but I used the carnosine during the daytime. And I got a lot of relief, and a lot of the swelling went down with the carnosine. So that might be helpful for the knee too.
Thank you. You know, there was a presentation done on carnosine recently. I think I need to go back and watch that, because I think that's one of the ones we forget about. I don't think it gets a lot of press. Thanks, Michelle. Who's next? Who would like to share or have a question?
This is Ray from Texas.
Get back, get down.
All right.
But we can barely hear you. Someone in Texas, but what's your name again?
This is Ray.
Ray, it's really very faint. Can you speak close?
I can try to speak louder. Is that better?
That's a bit better. Yes.
That's it better. On the knee, one thing they've used before is the glutathione and eon. It's used, I think it's the eon on the outside and the glutathione on the inside. It works great on knees. And also on the ice wave, I had this before where I did not get pain relief, and I swapped the white ice wave with the eon, and for some reason that worked. I have no idea why.
Okay, Ray, it was hard to hear you, but I think I heard you say glutathione on the inside of the knee and eon on the outside of the knee. And then you said swapping the white ice wave, you said?
Yes, using the eon instead of the white ice wave. I had that before work when the ice waves didn't work. Used the tan ice wave and the eon instead of the white ice wave.
Okay. All right, it's fun to experiment. You know, when I had my knee issue yesterday, I actually did a little stacking with the eon and the ice wave. So you can always do some stacking too. So thank you, Ray. All right, we still have time. We still have about 5 minutes. Who else would like to share? It could be a recent story. It could even be an old story. And also, someone just asked in the chat, what is stacking? Stacking, Leslie, is when you just, like a pancake, you just put one patch on top of another. And they have the patches have different frequencies. So they're not competing with each other. Okay, who is next? Who would like
I
to
could
share?
go next. I could go next.
Yes, Henrietta, please. Yes.
Yes. Just recently I signed someone up, and her mother had was going to have a hip replacement and all kinds of injuries. And so I told her, I met her at the parking lot of my gym, and I gave her 2 patches of the ice wave and 1 X39. And so her mother came over and put those on. And she said, like in 15 minutes, it was gone. And so she also went home and called her daughter and said, I'm Venmoing you $150 to invest in your, because my girl for next month when she got a check, and her mother said, here's $150 to invest in your business because I don't have any pain. And so then she told us that she had shingles a couple of years ago, and she had pain still underneath her breast. And she said literally the pain, the tingling that she had, just literally, she thought it just went into the patch, so that was a really good description.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Henrietta.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to share something. This is a secondhand story. I heard it from a woman that I was blessed to meet in Denver. Someone that I sponsored, Mike, sponsored her, and this woman's name is Christina. And I called Christina to invite her to the Denver seminar, and she ended up coming with her husband and her mother. Well, I had some communication with Christina like last winter, and she was asking my advice through texting about how to help her father, who was having a lot of pain and wasn't sleeping. So we exchanged several texts, and that was like February. So I spoke to her a couple weeks ago, right before the seminars, and I said, how's your dad? And she started crying, and she said he passed, and he died in March, the end of March. But then she said, we were both just crying on the phone. She said, these patches gave him so much peace in the last 2 months of his life. He didn't even know that he had bone, and I won't say the word, but he had a metastasis from the prostate, and he had the big C. And he didn't even know. He was in so much pain. I guess that's one of the worst pains you can have. He was in excruciating pain, and his daughter, Christina, was crying with me, and she said, Michelle, these patches were a godsend because he literally was out of pain and he could sleep. She said the first time she put an Alavita on him, he slept for like 8 hours, and he had not slept in weeks. So she said he died peacefully. And while she misses him, she's just so grateful for the last 4 months of his life being relatively pain-free. So
Yes.
we have so many gifts to give you guys. We have to just spread the word. Helen, you have your hand up.
Hi, it's actually Tim. These are a lot of great stories. Don't forget to share them on Live Younger and Vibrant Living. But on a lighter note, our 17-year-old dog, who's always been a bit quirky, he came through the pet mill and pet store thing. And so he's always been a little odd. And one of those odd things was he would never wag his tail, ever, just never wagged it. And in the last, after how many, like almost 2 years, I guess we've been using patches, putting the leftovers on him. He runs through a couple of walks a day and he's wagging his tail. It's like, who is this dog? And he used to limp a lot. He's not limping. So anyway, the things work on your animals too.
And keep on going, because it took a couple years. I know he's had a spring in his step, but the wag didn't come until a couple years in. So just, you never know how these patches are going to work over time. Thanks, Tim. All right. Is there anyone else? We might have a time for one more before we turn it over to Robin. And by the way, Ravel, who's just awesome for posting in the chat and giving us great resources. She said, David Schmidt shared that if there is a lack of or missing cartilage, pain and inflammation can be managed by use of Eon on the inside of the knee and glutathione on the outside. And then she posted a video. So thank you, Ravel.
Michelle?
Yeah.
I have a quick question. I have a nephew who's like 6 and he's having some shaking and when he shakes, he actually loses some bladder control. This is happening at night. He has a diagnosis and I'm wondering, is there a patch to help him because he wants to go back to school, but he's nervous about having an episode and losing, control of his bladder.
How old is he?
He's 6.
Okay, Dr. Tom may want to jump in, but the thing that pops in my mind is the HAP protocol.
Okay.
Because if they're shaking, it's probably something to do with the nervous system.
It is, yeah.
Because I've seen a couple of videos where there's a chiropractor who talked about a young man that was shaking, and they did the HAP protocol, and within very short time, that was resolved. So, Dr. Tom or anyone else, does anyone else have an idea for Tammy?
A lot of times the shaking can be just a really nice indication that the resources aren't making it to the target tissue, right? And especially nerves, they're very sensitive. So Eon's fantastic, of course. I love putting SP6 back on board. And SP6, in addition to balancing hormones and helping our metabolism, sugar cravings wise, it helps the body gather the resources, right? So you can think of it as fat as a fuel source, especially for nerves and brain. And where we have a body that's ketogenic and delivering fat, then all of a sudden we've got repair capacity with the lipids, the repair lipids. And SP6 is fantastic for that.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dr. Tom. I noticed in the chat, Valerie, you asked about the father who had pain in his bones. It was Ice Wave. She used Ice Wave, and then she used Alavita for, and of course, X39, but Ice Wave for the pain. Okay, I think we have time for one more. Connie, you have your hand up, and then I'll turn it over to Robin.
Hi, everybody.
Connie.
So this story has to do with, I'll be careful of what words I use here, but last year for about 3 months, I had that disease, where for 3 months, I had the tightness in my lungs and I was really tired. And with the patches, I was able to get over that with Eon, X39 and Gluta. And then it came back, as sometimes it does. And it came back September to like March. And then in March, Dr. Tom and Dr. Walt and all these great doctors that we have, I was working with Dr. Walt, who put me on a different protocol where I'm using the energy patches on my lung points the glutathione, and the long version of this particular issue has really gone away because of that. So I mean, there's so many people out there with that situation with the lung symptoms that I just thought it would be helpful to really share that there's just some great options out there for people who are having that issue.
Oh, beautiful, Connie. Yes, thank you. I think it's called long haulers, right? I think that's the word.
Yeah, I've been trying to be careful about, what words I use. Yeah.
I don't know if that's okay. I don't think that's a diagnosis. So, I have a friend who had that illness, and he lost his sense of smell and taste, and he started on the glutathione, and within like 2 weeks, he got both smell and taste back.
Yeah, I mean, there's scary symptoms that you can have, right? Especially the long-term symptoms. Yeah. So now, it obviously makes a huge difference for a lot of people who feel like there's maybe not another option out there for them.
Thank you, Connie.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just checking if there's something in the chat. Oh, some people are asking, can we register for the summit, Robin and Gregory, without any trouble? I know some people were having trouble.
Well, the link was frozen. It should be working now. Let me know if it's not, but it should be working now. That's because they were making a big change. So. And tonight, we're going to have Emily on our call for a few minutes to talk about the summit.
Yay.
So that'll be wonderful. And for those of you that didn't get the news, the summit is now free. If you did pay, and your money can either be refunded or extra applied toward the November conference. So we're going to hear a lot more about that one.
Okay, manager meeting.
Honey, it's on my list.
Just wanted to be sure.
Hi, Gregory.
I said, would you like to share? He says, no.
We love you guys. You're awesome.
So I guess I'll take it over from here. I think everyone, well, you may or may not know, we have a special going on. This was so successful last time that they brought it back. It's called Manager Mania. And you're going to notice, excuse me, that there's a business builder special every month and a product special every month. So this is the business builder special. And if you become a manager this week, I'm not sure on the timing. I'll have to take a look at that. I posted it in the Facebook group. You get an extra $100. And if you have sponsored a new manager, you get $50. So there's incentive for both the sponsor and the person growing the business. And I think everyone knows we call that the building block of our plan. It's the engine pin, becoming a manager. So that's part one. We have Emily coming on. I just want to mention for people that, and I think it was Diane that talked earlier, when you're having that retracing experience, if it's too much, just take the patch off. But the longer you can keep it on, the faster it'll move through, and lots of water to cleanse it out will make a difference also. We always want to remind each other.
Yes. Yes.
Drink, okay? And then let's see, the manager mania. Last Friday, Connie was on with Meetup Magic. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. Connie Ward was on with Meetup Magic on our 30 Minutes of Wisdom. That'll be up on the YouTube channel today. You can find it in the Facebook group if you missed it. I think a lot of people got inspired because what Connie did, she lives in Vermont. She did a meetup for a stem cell seminar in Colorado and invited people to come to Colorado. And she had someone come, and that person became a gold distributor. And so, there's I forget how many millions of people, 32 million people, a gazillion people in Meetup. And there's no excuse ever that we're running out of people, ever. So please listen to Connie's call. And then finally, for this evening, Terry Werner and her husband Dave have been visiting with us for the last several days. And she's going to be on our call tonight also to talk a little bit about what's coming with the Empowering Your Vision call that starts on Thursday. And we have got an amazing group of people. Like she was kind of blown away how many people we have. We have I think it's up to 83 people. And I believe the people with the most people on their team are going to grow the fastest, because just being around Terry is definitely empowering, and expect some quantum things. So those of you that have registered will be getting an email out to you today confirming.
With the glutathione,
Okay.
help people get.
Okay. So that call starts on Thursday, and it's for 4 weeks, and there will be a bonus call about a month later, and you'll be getting a confirmation plus some things to be working on. Are you, I thought Gregory was coaching me from behind. He's trying to do something else. So we have a private Facebook group all set up, and we'll be inviting you and give you the link to join that Facebook group. And we'll be having, if you can't make it live for the calls, that's okay, because the calls are recorded, and there will be a handout for each call. And expect some deep personal work. And this is going to affect your personal and your business life. It's about empowering your vision, and the vision for your life and the vision for your business. So know that those of us that are engaged are going to be dripping all over the rest of you. And if you aren't able to start at the first one, people can start later too. So that's all I had to say for tonight. And Doug said, I'm having amazing breakthrough results in my business as a result of signing up for Terry's Life Empower Your Vision course. Well, isn't that the way it goes? You make that commitment and the work starts. And I love it. Thank you for sharing that, Doug. And
Robin, real quick, on the Manager Mania, since we do have some new people, would you just please remind, how do you become a manager?
Well, thank you for that. Manager is the first rank, and it is personally sponsoring 2 silvers or above that are active, and also you being a gold or above. And so that's
2 on each leg.
Two personally sponsored silvers on each leg. You should see Gregory dancing in front of me. Yes, we are quite a team. Anyway, it is the building block. We call it the engine pin, because if you become a manager and then you become a manager maker and you go deep in your organization and have builders on each leg, you can get anywhere in our plan. And that is foundational. So we want to support people in growing their business. So Manager Mania has begun today.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Gregory, from the background.
Yeah.
And thank you, everyone on this call today.
Hey, Michelle, before we all leave, I just wanted to say, when you go into events, it still shows up that there's a charge, just so you know, $39. So when you said click on the link, it doesn't mean to click on that link. It means to click on a link that came in our email from LifeWave Corporate. Is that what you mean, Robin?
Yes. And also, I really want to encourage everyone to join the LifeWave Business Builder Facebook group. That's where you get the up-to-date information on everything. And Emily does these great programs. Unfortunately, there's a conflict with time with this call on Monday mornings, but you can always watch the live because it's on there, because there's great information on that page. So it's LifeWave Business Builders Facebook group, and then go to the invite tab and go through all your Facebook contacts to the people who are on your team and invite them. I do that on a regular basis. And so it's a good thing to do also. So if the link is not working, we're going to have Emily on with us tonight. We'll make sure that everything's working.
Hold off till tomorrow to register.
Yeah.
They're changing it.
They're changing it. So Gregory says, hold off till tomorrow. Or, support from the sidelines here. The backseat driver is He's alive and well.
You guys are awesome. You make us laugh. It's great.
You should see well, Terry's been in our life lately, so she's getting some insights about the two of us. Anyway, we love you guys. We're so glad to be on this journey together, and we are so blessed to be sharing, the great news of LifeWave to really change the quality of people's lives. And thank you for the stories. And Michelle, maybe you and I can help pick one of the stories from today to share on the call tonight. That would be wonderful.
Super.
Okay.
Okay. All right, everybody. Have a great Monday. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.
Everybody, have a great day.
So long. Have a great day.
Yep.
Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.